You're listening to Rodney Rogers Outdoors Radio, where we turn it upside down and look at the outside from the inside out. It's safe, it's legal, and we're having a blast. So put your shoes on, my friend, because we're going outdoors.
Thank you for listening to Rodney Rogers Outdoors. Have a nice day.
Welcome aboard, por favor, manténganse si a las transportes.
Thank you for listening to Rodney Rogers Outdoors. I'm Rodney Rogers, partner of Coach He's in Crime, the man himself.
Welcome aboard, Rodney.
Michael Coy, how are you, buddy?
32.
Episode 32.
Once again, this is our time. This is our hour.
Our vacation for the week.
Let's make it count.
1 whole hour.
I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it.
Well, happy Father's Day. Happy belated Father's Day.
Yeah, it is. I did. Did it all.
Right on. Just vegged out. Cool. Did you see the pictures I posted on our Facebook?
Why, let me look, Mr. Rogers. Where would I find that?
On our Facebook, like right there on the front. You can actually see it on the
that's
right.
Beautiful.
Well, I just posted another one. I don't know why it's not up there. But anyway, how do I refresh?
Never seen a stormy day. That little, oh, you almost had it right up there. That little stormy day looks right there.
Wow. Okay, now if you see this picture, see that one? That's in close to the same spot. What it was, I was driving through the swamps of Brevard County, trying to find a little fishing hole here and there.
I'm afraid to ask what that is.
That is a dead wild hog upon observation. It's a giant sow. I'm going to guess by the size of the skull, she was probably 300 pounds. Huge sow. Tusks are very small, which tells me it's a sow.
You had to put that romantic filter on the dead sow.
I just wanted to emphasize on the skull. You should have seen the buzzards that were hanging around it. I got pictures of the buzzards around it too. It's just one of those moments where you just like take all these pictures with the storm clouds in the back. You throw 100 filters on there and you go, man, this is really cool. But we were riding through.
Where's that at?
This is you know where Platelinda Beach is in Brevard County?
Wish I could say I did.
Well, there's the good part. I mean, not the good part, but it's Platelinda Beach is actually, it's over by the Air Force, or it's by where the shuttle goes up. Kennedy Space Center.
Right, okay.
It's the back entrance.
Okay.
It's the employee entrance. But if you just go straight instead of making a right in Titusville, it takes you to the beaches. There's like 6 beaches there. Okay. The beaches are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But once you pay your $5, it's a state park, and once you pay your $5, then you get to drive all these little side roads. You get to see all this cool wildlife because it's actually a preserve out there.
It's a nice place to go, even to go to the beach over there, because it's not real populated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you've been there.
I think you and I started to say you and I, but no, I actually did some video shooting over there with my daughter one time.
Oh, okay.
We were just doing getting some beach shots.
Well, there's just this particular one. This one road, dirt road, was a squiggly line for 6 miles. And it just went through the swamps and through, hard road. You could drive a motorcycle down it. I mean, a car.
Okay.
So it was definitely worth looking. And this took me an hour and a half to go down 6 miles of road. Seen a real nice giant alligator. I'll post that up. We'll call it Where's the Critter. So I took a couple pictures where you can hard to see this.
That'd be good.
9-foot alligator up under.
That'd be fun.
So, yeah. So it's actually, it was a really cool ride. Just cruising. Catching the rain. I caught some lightning in the lens, with open shutter. So it was an awesome day for photography and just overall, just got a text that they can't see us. Are we good to go up there? You can see us there, right?
Yeah, tell them to go to. You keep talking, I'll work out the bugs.
You got it. Okay, so it was a cool ride. It was a little bit fun, I did I just wanted to try some fishing holes here and there and see what was biting. And guess what?
What was biting?
Nothing.
Really?
Spaghettos. Lots of spaghettos. It was hot. It was the heat of the day. I got out there way too late. I kind of figured that, and I did more photography than I did anything, riding around. Just really checking out. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. It's over there by Hallover Canal, Titusville. You ever been to Hallover Canal?
No.
It's actually a canal in the 1700s. They call it Hallover because it was landlocked. The Banana River was landlocked there, and they used to drag their small boat. They used to park their ships just outside of the beach and drag their ships over.
Really?
Or drag their little boats over and haul them over. So they called it Haul Over Canal. And there you have it. Lesson learned today. So did you do anything exciting for Father's Day? Just vegged out?
Nah, I stayed home. We weren't feeling well, kind of under the weather, to be honest with you. Yeah.
No. So that's nothing else? Mow the grass? Paint the toenails?
Nope. Nope. I'm actually working on the new Rodney Rogers business cards.
Oh, really?
That's what I did.
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. We're going to need those because we have that bowling tournament coming up.
When is that? I was going to ask you about that.
It is July the 12th is the actual tournament. We go on auction June 22nd.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So we
That's
go on
next
auction in
week.
5 days.
Okay.
So we'll go up on auction. I got an oxygen. But yeah, go up on oxygen.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need some oxygen. So, so if you're listening and you want to donate $3,000 or $4,000, you can buy me on eBay. You get to bowl with me.
So what's that process? How does that work?
Basically what they do is they put us up on eBay for 7 days. There's going to be a plethora of local TV celebrities, some WWE wrestlers,
Okay.
maybe a couple golf players. It's going to be just a whole, you'll be able to go to rockpink.com.
Okay.
And this is all for Rock Pink for breast cancer. So it's, it's definitely for a good cause. And obviously it's, absolutely, tax writable. You write it off on taxes. So if you got $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 to spend, hey, I can't think of a better place to spend it because I'd like to win this year. I'd like to be ahead of even the host of the radio show.
How many celebrities do they have?
80.
Okay.
There's a lot of celebrities.
That's a lot of celebrities.
And out of the 80, but to tell you the truth, I usually fall right around about the 8 or 10 category. I usually raise enough money that I fall in right about the 8th. Last year I was 8th place.
Okay.
That's pretty good considering the lineup they have. So I think I do pretty good every year.
Kidding.
The year before I was 12.
So then all the celebrities throw in things.
So basically, yeah, what they do is they throw in a package. One of them may throw in free Costas or, Dale Torberg, the guy, the WWE wrestler, dresses up like Gene Simmons.
Right.
On
right.
WWE, he actually throws in just a cool package. Obviously a wrestling package and free Costa sunglasses and, for the team. So, we're talking $1,000 worth of sunglasses. Now, I ain't got no sunglasses unless you want some Walmart Bill Dance glasses.
I saw some sunglasses in your truck.
You can have them. You might not see too well.
Those are prescription, aren't they?
They are prescription.
They're
Ray-Ban prescription.
You might not want to give those away.
Yeah, last year I think I threw in a fishing trip. I threw in a dinner. Gnarly Barley's going to do our dinner again this year.
Are they?
Basically, they're going to do a beer tasting. So you'll get a private beer tasting of their finest beers. He said he's going to go all out this year. You heard him.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been to Gnarly Barley.
Oh, my God.
We had lunch there the other day.
Yes, we did. It's truly, truly a gem. I mean, it looks like a little hole in the wall, but I tell you what, when you walk in, you're in just like Alice's Wonderland. Is that what you call it? A rabbit hole?
I don't think you call it Alice's Wonderland, but yeah.
You know where I'm going with that one? Somewhere in the rabbit hole. So he's going to do that for us again this year. I'm up in the air about giving away another gator hunt. If I don't, I know we're not going to raise as much money. And to tell you the truth, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Definitely won't be doing the fishing trip this year. That's just hard to coordinate. It really is. You okay? How you doing over there?
I'm good. I'm almost there. Keep talking, buddy.
Okay, I'm going.
Sorry, man.
So, we won't be doing the fishing trip, I don't think, this year. But the guy who we usually do the fishing trip with is Fired Up Charters. Chris Cameron, a good buddy of mine. He just got a new boat. One of the cool things about his new boat, he can actually haul a few more people on it.
As in how many?
You can get 6 people on this one where you can get 4 on his other one. So you can add 2, maybe 3. He might even go. We got a call coming in. Mike, I think we.
Boy, I'm multitasking all over the place here.
Yeah.
Keep it going. That's good.
That's right on. I like you moving around. Thank you for calling Rodney Rogers Outdoors. This is Rodney.
Hey, Rodney, Scott Braun.
Scott, how are you, buddy?
Good. I heard you talking about the bowling. I just wanted to pass the word out to everybody that the most fun I ever had at that thing was with you guys.
Right
with
on.
You.
Scott, do you remember, Mike, was you there when One year I got bought by the bowling tournament. What was that, 2 or 3 years ago, Scott? 3 years ago?
Yeah, 3 years. 3 years, I think.
Well, the winner of the bowling tournament couldn't show up. They were out of Tampa. So Scott got on my team, him and his wife. Amazing people.
Really?
Yeah, and Scott got to bowl with us, and we certainly did have a blast, didn't we, Scott?
Yeah, we did. It was awesome.
It was absolutely fantastic, and I tell you what, I've kept in touch with Scott. As a matter of fact, he just texted me a little bit ago about his possums. You still got some possums hiding out over there.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I have actually never attended the bowling tournament.
Stop.
No.
Well, you should do it because it's an awesome time.
Yeah, certainly an awesome.
Everybody's cool with that thing, and all the celebrities and all the people, they just go out and have a good time.
Scott, on in your opinion, hobnobbing with celebrities, did you find any that were just didn't really want to talk, or are they pretty much all open for you?
Oh, I think they're all open,
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to me.
I'm not at the.
Oh, go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
I'm not a jump in their face kind of guy, but I got to meet all the monsters, and even Dirty Jim was nice. And with his rap, you don't think he would be, but he was cool.
Yeah, I think he's got a bad rap sometimes.
That's funny.
I've hung out with Jim a few times. He's really awesome. When we do the chili cookouts and all that good stuff. So I think it's time we start pushing in for my listener dog tag, Scott. I think we need to start texting their service and hitting them up with it.
I'll do it.
So you're gonna close up this possum hole you got going over there.
Yeah, it's my friend's house, and he's the husband of the friend. He's working in Texas, so I've been, you came out and helped me out and looked at it and told me what to do, but then I told him, and he never got a chance to do it, and they disappeared, never came back for a while, and now all of a sudden they're back under their shed. So I'm gonna do it for him this weekend, like you told me earlier today.
Beautiful. And if I get a chance, I'll ride over.
I'll try not to lock them in. I'll make sure they're gone first.
Yeah. Just stick your arm under there and shake it all about.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll do that.
Well, right on, man. Scott, for being a first-time caller on our show, we do what's called Goose to Moose. Are you watching us live, or are you just listening?
I'm listening.
Okay.
I couldn't bring up the video part.
There is a problem with the feed. So
okay.
I was going to ask you.
Mike's telling me there's a problem with the feed. He's working on it now.
But the audio is coming through. Is that what you're telling us?
Yep, I was listening to audio, and then when I switched, because I'm doing it on my phone, so I had to switch to call, so it went away because I switched.
Okay, well that's too bad because Rodney looks awesome tonight. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, just a cute little circle. Just a cute little circle picture of you on the screen. That's all there is.
Holding your bass.
Okay, well we do what's called Goose to Moose, and what it is, it's a little moose. So I'm gonna goose it for you.
Oh, sweet.
There you go.
Feel, Scott.
Scott, I appreciate you calling, man.
All right. Have a good night.
You got it, buddy. Thank you so much.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. Bye.
Scott's awesome. He actually bowled with us, and man, we had a super awesome time. They give you free Mike's Hard Lemonade, lots of it.
Really?
We had a great time. Did I mention?
Huh.
You get enough Mike's Hard Lemonade, you can't go wrong. Still can't figure out the feed thing?
No, but the good thing is they can't see me staring at the screen frantically.
So anyway, we got audio, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, we'll keep it going.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
And it's not working on the YouTube page either, so it's not something going on here. So I apologize, but you do look phenomenal tonight.
Well, man,
you can take off that silly hat though.
How's the suit of armor look? Is it real shiny?
I know you dressed for the occasion, and nobody can appreciate it.
I know, man. I thought this knight in the iron shining armor bit was going to really fly tonight. I guess not. Wah, 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 wah. Well, Scott, man, I appreciate you calling. Tell the wife we said hello. Scott has an awesome wife and kids and just adorable, so appreciate the call, man.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And then we will get back. Oh, so, for Father's Day, I kind of fished, did that thing, bebopped around, took some pictures, took a lot of pictures, and then headed home. That was my Sunday. Nothing too exciting. But I wanted to get out and see that place, and I was glad I did. They actually had a turtle festival over there. we were headed over to the Turtle Festival, and the Turtle Festival was over.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. Apparently, I don't know, maybe they don't have a big turnout for the Turtle Festival. It said Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they really meant Friday, Saturday. Sunday was the only 2-hour Sunday cleaning up. They picked a beach and cleaned it up, which was pretty awesome. And that was in Titusville. So next year I'll keep my eyes out and just happen to hear about the Turtle Festival. So.
Oh, cool. Well, tell you what, we got a sponsor tonight, so let's give them an opportunity. We'll come back and talk about our main topic of the night. Are you good with that?
I'm good.
You sure?
I am in.
Okay, bye.
Northern Tool and Equipment.
My girlfriend has given me a pet name.
I'm afraid to ask.
Snuggle Muffin.
No, it isn't.
And she uses it in public.
Okay, so give your girlfriend a pet name she'll hate, like Thunder Chunky.
I couldn't do that.
I see. Too harsh for Snuggle Muffin. Okay. Drown her out with a 200-mile-per-hour cordless leaf blower.
Got it. Here she comes.
Hey, Snuggle Muffin. What are you doing, Snuggle? Snuggle. I am so out of here.
Wait. Come back, Thunder Chunky.
There's no problem a little horsepower can't solve. Northern Tool and Equipment.
That's my favorite commercial in the whole wide world. It's absolutely awesome.
That was good.
So we're back.
Yeah, what are we talking about tonight?
We were talking about
Gators again.
Alligators. We're talking about our last phase of alligators.
Yeah, you know where we left off last week, right?
We left off with the bang stick.
No, we're tagging them. We're going to come back in
that's
and tag
right.
them.
Yeah, that's right.
We banged them. We did all that. We got them up to the boat. So now we're starting from
the tag.
We've got our boat. We got our gator up to the boat, and he's dead.
Exactly.
Either in the water or out of the water, maybe depending on size and the vehicle we're using.
First step after we have euthanized, killed, otherwise knocked this alligator out, is taping his mouth shut. We'll pull his face up over the boat. Does the alligator have a face, or is that just mainly a mouth? Is that considered a face?
This is a general area we define as the face, that nose, eyes, mouth, teeth area.
So what we do is, at that point, I put a roll of black tape in everybody's pocket. So it doesn't matter who has access to the mouth, that's who tapes it up. So that way we're not fumbling, kind of like the bullet thing. We're not fumbling around for a bullet.
It's very wise of you. That's experience talking.
Yeah, because you know what? Fumbling around going, who's got a tape? Who's got a bullet?
Is it electrical tape?
Yeah, it's just electrical tape.
Okay.
It's waterproof. You can go around the duct tape. Everybody thinks duct tape is awesome. Duct tape will slide right off.
Okay.
I've had a duct tape story with a live alligator.
Okay.
So you put that black tape around, and it's like a rubber band. It just kind of stretches and holds their mouth shut, and that's all you need.
Do you really have a duct tape story for later?
I do.
Okay, I'll remind you.
Okay. I hope so. So we put the tape around his mouth, and that way, because even though they're not moving, they can still bite. Because remember, their metabolism is really slow. So their blood, whatever blood they have in their brain and their bodies.
And at this point, you don't really know how dead he is.
Right.
Right? I mean, depending on where you've banged him with the bang stick.
We've still had him flopping 3 hours later.
We've had him flopping even as we're filleting them.
Yeah, exactly. So, while they're brain dead, all their muscles are still working.
It's reactionary, yeah.
It's reactionary. If you get your hands in there, their nerves still feel the touch. Everything just seems to work. I don't know the logistics of that. It hurts when a bodiless alligator bites
it's the same thing. I remember my grandma raised chickens, and they said when they would chop their head off or break their necks, it would still run around the yard.
Exactly.
It's technically done for, but the muscles are, the nerves are still reacting.
Well, they're the same way. They're no different. So the old adage, hey, it'll keep going until the lightning strikes. That's whatever. That don't happen. They eventually die. They don't need no lightning strike.
So to play it safe,
tape their mouth.
You tape their mouth.
Yes. Make sure their mouth is taped. If you get your hand in there, 10-foot alligator, and they still got the same strength.
Okay.
Nothing's changed. They may be brain dead, but they're all business.
Okay.
So we get their mouth taped, and we pull them up into the boat. And our next process, before we make a move, is we have to put a tag in this alligator and lock it to make sure that this alligator is tagged. Because one of the common practices are they cut the tail to put the tag in, but they don't lock the tag. Once you lock that tag, it can't be unlocked.
Okay, now this tag, to be specific, is the physical tag that you received in the mail when you received your license.
And we'll put a picture tonight.
Yeah, because you got 2 tags, and this is a physical device that you now have on the boat with you. You have to have it with you.
Absolutely. There's no
finish the
exception.
job here.
Yeah, and it's pink this year. It's a pink tag.
So it's a pink, and it's got a serial number or some sort of
it's
serialized
called a
number
cities,
on it.
CITIES.
Okay.
It's a cities tag, and it has a cities number, and it's got 17158. So it's the amount of alligators completely for that lake, and you have alligator number 17315.
So you've claimed your gator. This is my gator. I've killed him. He's here. I've got to use one of my tags now for this gator.
Absolutely.
I have.
Absolutely.
And where's this go? Goes in the tail.
It goes in the tail.
That's the only place?
No, you can put it wherever, but they like you to put it in the tail. That way, when the game warden pulls up, he knows exactly where to look. He's not fishing around this body for a tag. They want you to put it in the tail of the alligator. The key is to lock that tag inside the alligator somewhere. The tail is where they want you to do it. It's not a law. It's just this is where
this is like one of these plastic zip ties. You loop it through itself and pull it, right?
Nope. You just lock it in. It has like a it has a knob on one end and a cup on the other.
It goes in and just locks.
Yeah, it just locks.
Okay.
Thank God there's no video today. That was just ridiculous. So and then it just locks in and you can't.
Oh, look at that! The video's live. Welcome back.
So once it's locked, that way it's a used tag at that point. And what's funny is they have these little bumps all over them, so they get dirty. When you try to mess with them, they're tamper-proof. They're tamper-proof. So if you tamper with it, it'll be.
So you've put this in the gator tail. Now this thing's permanent. So now you're down one of your tags.
Right. So you've filled a tag, and now the process that'll come after that. You'll when you get home that night, you'll want to put all that information in the alligator, and I'm going to tell you what information you're going to need here in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll just, for all intents and purposes, we'll say we're not going to go after our second alligator tonight. We're just going to stick with this one, and we're going to we're going to run back to the boat ramp so we can all high five and have a celebratory drink, whatever the case may be when we get back. So now we're in the cleaning process. Well, we have to remember that an alligator is a product of their environment. So depending on what lake you're killing in, how clean the lake is, remember that if it's a 10-foot alligator, they're probably around 25 to 30 years old. So, it could be, give or take, in the water for 25, 30 years of that lake. Maybe a few other lakes. You really don't know. Their skin is real durable, and it's full of areas to hold bacteria. Their mouths are full of bacteria. So, it's a pretty nasty animal, so to speak. And reptiles are susceptible to salmonella. So you want to be able to keep everything clean. So now we're going to get ready for the processing of this thing. I process my own. Now there's 100 options when you kill an alligator. They send you a ton of pamphlets of where to process it and how much it is and all that stuff. I process mine myself because it's pretty expensive to process it.
And processing, the word processing means what? Encompasses what?
It encompasses skinning,
cleaning, gutting, getting the meat,
getting rid of it, cutting up the meat to where you bag it up or vacuum pack it or something of that sort.
And then including if you decide you want to do something with the hide, or the teeth or the skull, or
if you tell us, if you book a hunt with us and you say, Rodney, I want to mount the skull, I just want the skull mount, or I want it with the skin on, or I want the hide tan, we can do all that. We can actually go through that whole process. And obviously that's always an extra charge. That's tanning a hide. A lot of people think, well, man, you kill a lot of alligators, you must have 1 million hides. But they are very, very expensive. We're talking $100 a foot. I've got a 10-foot alligator that I've been wanting to tan for 5 years. But $100 a foot, I've got about 8 feet of it left. I'm really not wanting to spend that much right now.
Wow.
So, and it's not the most quality of hide. Let's put it this way. There's two ways you can save a hide. One is called the scale side. So basically you split it down the stomach and the legs, and you open it up and you make a rug out of it. Just to tan the hide for that rug is about $1,500 with those bones left in it.
Wow.
Now, if you take those bones out and you do the belly side just for the leather, then it's a third of that price. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a catch-22.
Wow.
You know, it can be expensive or it can be. So to do an alligator rug with 12-foot alligators, almost $4,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, some people want it. Some people had one.
Now, when you start the process of cleaning or processing your gator, do you usually start that night? You go home. Obviously,
yeah.
I mean, this is late or early.
Yeah, I start right away. If it's like a 7-footer, I've got a cooler big enough that'll hold a 7-8 foot alligator. You know, we can get it in, pack it with ice, and wait till the next day. The key is to get that temperature down as quick as we can. Get it on
just
ice,
like a fish, right?
Just like a fish or anything else like that. Alligator's more important because their body temperature is already the temperature of the water. They're cold-blooded animals, so you want to get them colder quicker because their meat will spoil and build bacteria faster.
Sure.
So
if you can clean them and dress them out that night, you can pack it down.
Absolutely.
More
Put it on ice
compact,
and then
easier.
and then cut it up and bag it the next day. But the key is to get that hide off of it.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that we do, like if we're at the boat ramp and we want to process this thing right away, we have fold-out tables that we'll just start processing right there at the boat ramp. So basically what we do is we have a bottle of bleach and a bottle of dishwashing liquid. And we have a bucket, and basically we mix those in a bucket, real strong bleach, and we brush this alligator. We completely give it a bath.
The outside of them?
The outside of it. I mean, inside the mouth, we're talking around the face, the head, the feet.
So you just have like a scrub brush that you're washing your car with, kind of thing?
Exactly. Real strong bristled. So we really scrub this alligator. And then we let that sit for about 15 or 20 minutes to let the bleach kill all the bacteria it can possibly get. Because once you start skinning, your hands are on that skin.
Oh, sure.
You know, and then when you open it, then poof, you're going right to the meat.
Would not have thought of that.
Yeah. So you want to be able to you know, not transfer any of that bacteria to your good meat that you're going to fry up. Speaking of which, I fried up some alligator this weekend, and whoo.
Really?
I didn't fry it. I barbecued it. I grilled it, and I did it with a hot wing sauce. Let me tell you what, Mike. I absolutely slammed that alligator. I ate it like like the buzzards on that hog. Let me tell you, it was ridiculous. I knocked it out. So anyway, yeah, you don't want to transfer that meat or any of that bacteria to the meat. So it's important to get that thing nice and clean. If you can leave it for if you got 45 minutes, leave that bleach on there 45 minutes.
Okay.
Heck, pour straight bleach on it if you want, just to get that outside clean. You're not going to do anything to the hide. It's not going to bleach the hide or anything like that. So it's going to be just as strong. So now you have to determine what part of the hide do you want, because that's going to depend on how you skin it.
Oh, okay.
Do you want the back for a mount, or do you want the hide for tanning? You know, for leather. We got one guy that wants a pair of boots this year.
Because if you the boots would come from the stomach area.
Exactly. They're going to come what they call the belly hide.
Okay.
So basically, what you'll do is, if let's just all intents and purposes, he wants boots, we're going to get him what's called the belly hide. So we're going to skin down both sides of the osteoderms, which are those bones on the back.
Okay, keeping the belly intact.
Keeping the belly fully intact. So we want to get right up against those bones, right along that back, and right down the tail, and split from that way. So basically, once we skin him, he looks like he's got a mohawk. It's just nothing but the backbones on the alligator, and then we pull that hide away, and it's all one piece, completely intact, no holes, and it's in good shape.
Now you talked about a rug. A pair of boots is probably expensive.
Yeah, I mean, first you'd have to find a custom boot maker.
Yeah, but they're there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can find those pretty easy. I bet the boots, if you went and bought a pair of alligator boots, you're probably looking at about $1,000, and there's a reason. Because the hide, to tan enough hide to do those boots, you're going to want about 3 square feet of hide. So it's $100 and lean your foot. So you're at $300 already for your tanning. That's before you even got to your boots.
Yeah.
Now, if you want those boots a certain color, there's a company out of North Carolina or Georgia that'll do it pretty much in about 6 or 7 different colors. The price changes for color.
Can you get a gator out of one? Can you get a pair of boots out of one gator?
Absolutely.
They're like a size 3.
Well, I mean, you can get probably a size 8 out of a 6-7 foot alligator.
Okay.
You know what I mean? 10-foot alligator, obviously a little better.
Wow.
You know, you get a little more hide off of it. So you're going to need quite a bit of hide because there's a lot of waste in a pair of boots. You know, you want the boots to look the same.
That's how you impress the ladies.
Oh, man, I killed that alligator myself. Well, that's nice. I like your boots, huh?
Taxi.
Yeah, exactly. You go to the bathroom and never see him again. So, you know, you're going to need about 3 square feet.
So all these thought process have going up front before you make your very first cut.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, these are the questions that I ask you. You know, what are you looking out of this hide? I want a rug mounted on the wall, or the rug is hypothetical. It's not something you could lay on like a bear rug. Or
it's a whole different image, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different rug. And it's sprawled out and it still has the head on it. You know, that's a $5,000 mount.
Yeah, wow.
Or you can make a pair of boots for, you know, $700-800.
Yeah.
You know, so once you find your boot maker, take the hide to them and say, hey, I want a pair of boots. They'll fit you, they'll measure you, and
okay.
voila.
Either way, we've got our wardrobe.
We're
digging in now.
We're digging in now. So now we're getting our hide however you want it, rug boots, and then now we're getting down to the meat. We're going to cut the skull. There's going to be a lot of meat around that skull. You know, the jaw bones, right around the jaws. You see those fat neck muscles? That's all white meat. Now, there's only 4 areas of dark meat on an alligator.
Listen close, folks. This guy knows what he's talking about.
I call this buddy meat. That's the buddy meat. And that is the legs. That's the only dark meat on an alligator because they use their legs most of the time when they crawl out on land. And you would think the tail's being used most often, but the tail is not really. It's just cruising. Most of their, you know, they're just swimming and cruising. Then they'll get out. So that's why the meat is dark around the legs. So why I call it buddy meat is your buddy comes over and says, hey, Rodney, give me some alligator. And I go, hey, man, not a problem.
That's exactly what Rodney's buddies sound like, too.
Exactly. So I give them the leg meat. You know, they've never tasted real tail. If they ever had real tail, they would love it.
So if you want the good meat, don't be your buddy.
Don't be my buddy. Just be, you know. Now, let's dissect this alligator.
Let's do it.
In a mental capacity. So we have our leg meat. To me, that's I call that the fry meat. You know, you want to fry that. That's just about the only way it's good. It's dark meat. It's not as tasty as the rest alligator. Now, for an alligator, most people prize the tail. You know, the gator tail is the best part of it, and actually it's not. It's some of the toughest because it has all the ligaments in the tail. There's a lot of ligaments and strands in the tail, you know, tendons in the tail. So it can be pretty tough. Now remember, an alligator is a product of their environment. The water they eat and drink out of is how the meat's going to taste. So it's going to, you know, if you kill one out of a retention pond versus one out of a nice clean lake, the meat's going to be different. So remember that. And that's why I pick Lake Toho every year. Very healthy lake. Every alligator we've ever killed out of there, I do, man, I'm like jumping all over the board here again. I do what's called a stomach check. I check the contents of their stomach to see what they're eating.
That's where you got that watch you're wearing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And this cute ring
watch
I got here. It says Bart. Bart, he ain't gonna need it anymore. So, and I like to see what they're eating. And most 90% of the alligators I've killed in Lake Toho are eating escargot. So you know them alligators are rich, right? They're eating.
I remember
snails.
that, yeah.
Remember, yeah. Yep. You know, we find the snail doors. There's a name for that snail door. I can't think of it right offhand, but they're, you know, so it's all about their diet. So now we got the meat. The tail is prized. It is good meat, and if you cut the tail up, that's the only place an alligator stores fat. So the meat will come in. The tail will come in a section about like this. It'll have 4 sections because there's the tailbone is crossed like this. So this will be a section, this will be a section, and then vice versa.
Okay.
And then there's tenderloins inside those sections, just like a chicken tenderloin. So at the very first 2 or 3 feet, there's an extra muscle below the main muscle, and that's where they store their fat.
Okay.
Alligator fat, not good. Mosquito repellent, it's great. To eat is nasty.
Wow.
It's not good at all. So you want to trim that fat. So you got to split that open, trim the fat. And this is why you hire somebody to process if you've never done it. You know, you
sure, I could totally see that.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's these little things. You'd probably eat the fat if you didn't know. You go, hey, there's fat. Not in an alligator.
Well, I think if you just dug in into it yourself, you'd be destroying a lot of the good meat, probably just trying to figure out.
Yeah,
what's
and
up
you would
and
throw
what's not.
away a lot of stuff
Yeah.
you just didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, to me, the most succulent part of an alligator, the what I call the scallop, is the rib section. Not necessarily the ribs themselves, but the alligator has an extra layer of muscle around their ribs. It's all white meat. Now, everything we're talking about is white meat, and it's just outside their rib cage, and it's about, on a 10-foot alligator, it's about 1.5 inches thick. And man almighty, when I kill an alligator, nobody even looks at it. I don't let them touch it. That's Rodney meat. We call that the Rodney meat. That's my meat.
Yeah.
You know, and if for someone that's never had alligator
That's
before,
the fillet of the.
exactly, that's
of
what
the
I call
gator.
the fillet of the alligator. And I let them have a little bit of that part, so they get the first taste of alligator is the best part. You know what I mean? So that way you can honestly decide, do I like it or not? That's the best way to do it. Now, around their neck, they have the jaw muscles. They have these big muscles that work their jaws, jowls. And so that's just one big 5-pound chunk of meat right there. So basically, by the time I'm done cleaning this alligator, you see a pile of bones. And I mean, there is nothing left but bones. And there's no meat. I get every bit of meat off this alligator you can possibly get.
Okay, so you've spent, and what's the time of this process, cleaning the gator?
Start to finish, let's go with a 7-foot alligator. You're looking at about 4 hours.
That's another.
Yeah,
half a day's
2
work.
guys, 4 hours. So 8-hour total labor in one alligator, 7 feet long. So it's
Wow.
very painstakingly, because the skin is just really hard to get off. It's if you don't have
The thing's trying to bite you the whole
the
time.
thing's trying to bite you the whole time. And as you know, they'll move on you.
It's freaky.
I mean, they could be dead for several hours.
Yeah,
and
it's freaky.
You make that first cut of the knife, and it'll jump all over the table on you. So I mean, it's one of the,
We literally, sorry folks, put the children to bed. We literally had the tail severed, and it's still moving.
Yeah.
It's like when you cut off like a lizard tail.
Lizard
It's still
tail.
moving. It's the same thing. I mean, it was still going.
Yeah, it's a reptile. It's just these nerves are just jumping all over.
And we were laughing.
You actually got a video of that whole
Yeah, I
process.
know. I'm actually sitting here thinking, where can I put this?
I know. That's what we were
without
talking
getting
about.
banned
this
from
last
the
week.
internet that we can put this. I mean, it's just cleaning an animal, but I mean,
Yeah.
I videotaped the entire process.
Yeah, you did.
And
That's right.
It's just you and me, and it's right there. I mean, it's good footage.
Yeah.
It's clear footage.
It's very.
It's not
specific.
blurry Bigfoot footage. It's really good footage.
Yeah, that's.
But
cool.
I found it just simply fascinating.
Right.
You know?
You know what? I don't think I've ever seen. I know I've seen a clip of it, but it'd be neat to
I'll
watch.
dig
I've
that
never
out. I
seen
just
myself
know-
clean an
I
alligator.
guess we can put it on the website, and people want to go there and look at it. We'll
Yeah,
put
you know what?
Put a
We could-
warning.
I don't see why we couldn't dump
It's
it
our
on our
website. We can do whatever we want,
Yeah,
right?
if they like it, great. I mean, if they don't want to watch it, they don't have to click
Yeah,
on
maybe
it.
we'll put a link rather than posting it on Facebook.
Right.
Put a link to it, and say warning.
Yeah.
This is an actual cleaning of a gator.
Right.
If you're squeamish or object to this kind of thing, don't click here.
Don't click.
No, really, don't click here.
Really, don't. We recommend
Trust
you do
me,
not.
don't click here.
Oh, we're gonna get hate mail over that one. Eh? Well, there's our million hits right there.
What did I tell you? You clicked here.
We did it. So.
But it's cool. I mean, actually, it's very fascinating.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, that's and then we at that point we go to. Packaging. We either put it in vacuum packs or we wrap it for you, however you want it.
As you would at this point, it's whether you're done fishing, whatever you're done.
Right.
At this point, you now get your meat and you dispose of. How do you dispose of what's not? Meat makes sense. You package it, you freeze it, you move on, and you cook it. But what about the pile of bones?
The carcass.
Yeah.
Normally, I just bury it. I just take it out in the backyard and bury it. If we do it on the lake, then we can take it out in the lake, and then other alligators will eat it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'll be gone before you can.
Because you know what? That night we did ours, or mine.
Right.
I left. I didn't see that process. What did you do with that?
That one I buried.
You did really?
Yeah, I had a big hole in the backyard.
In that neighbor's yard you didn't like?
Yeah, and the guy put it on.
Good going.
Put it on his windshield. Said, "Don't throw grass in my yard again."
He put it in a brown paper bag and lit it on fire on his doorstep.
I can't remember what we found in the stomach of your alligator, your first alligator.
Remember snails? I remember the snails.
A lot of snails.
Yeah.
I know the last year, not last year, but the year before.
Snails and iPod. I think we found an iPod.
High heels. was those that one red shoe? I found one with 13 eggs in its stomach.
Kind of eggs.
Alligator eggs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had eaten eggs. Not in their stomach as in they're having egg babies. In their stomach as in they ate them. They gobbled them up. So one, it was a male alligator, so you knew he wasn't having the babies. So he went up to the nest and just gobbled up all the eggs. So they'll do it. I found 13 babies, 15 babies in an alligator. 2 of them were still alive, and I let them go.
Wow.
Yeah, they just swallow them whole. Oop, oop, oop.
Well, one more question then, or just one more
absolutely.
piece of this puzzle, because obviously now, it's all over but the crying and the eating of the gator. So how do you, you got special ways you like to cook your gator, or do you cook certain parts of the gators certain ways?
Certain ways, yeah. I do. That's exactly what I do.
Because it seems like the only way I've ever eaten gator is fried. And I like the taste of fried stuff, but to me it all just tastes the same at that point.
Yeah. Fried duck, fried gator, it's all the same, yeah.
So, how are there other ways of cooking gators so you're not just eating fried chicken?
My favorite way is grill it.
Okay.
Is basically grilling. I like to throw it on the grill, and I make sometimes I do it in teriyaki. I've done bourbon, like you've done bourbon chicken. I've done bourbon gator. I've done orange gator, teriyaki gator.
But it's not breaded. It's actually just
not breaded. It's just straight alligator in the sauce. That's my favorite way. I'm not a big fried guy. I'll eat it fried, but it's not one of my favorite ways. So there's 100 different ways to do it. So once you have that alligator, you've got everything processed. You've got to get online and fill out the paperwork. You got to tell them how big the alligator was, how much it weighed. It can all be approximate. How much meat you yielded off of it, if it was male or female, and of course the location. You
know what? Because I about wrapped this chapter up, but this is a huge. This is closing up the chapter, wrapping up all the loose ends, and incredibly important. And in a minute, you're going to tell us the story of why this is so important.
Absolutely. Basically, here's the deal. They want to know. Basically, this tells them how many gators they're going to have on the market next year. If all the tags are filled, they know there's a lot of alligators.
Because if you don't do this, they shouldn't have. They had no reason to let you do it in the first place.
Exactly. You are the ambassador, so to speak. So they're relying on you to catch this alligator and give them the information that they need. So you have to, by law, have to fill out this information. Here's why. If you do not send this information in, they will knock on your door and come and get you. For several years, they just let it go. If you didn't send your paperwork back in, it was just no big deal. You just didn't send it in. Well, the 1 year I did not send it in. Actually, I filled out the paperwork.
Is this your story?
No, this ain't my story.
Okay.
But this is important.
This is incredibly important.
Incredibly important.
It's like 2 stories in one night.
Yeah. I'll keep this one short to get the other one squeezed out. So basically, not sending in my paperwork, I had it above my visor. They didn't have the online form at that time. They could only mail it in, and snail mail just wasn't a big deal. It was right at the point where computers were becoming big and snail mail was...
This is what, like 62, 63?
You need to stop right there. That's ridiculous. So this was 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe. So
it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't? It was 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's probably about
7 years ago. So it was...
I remember this when you called me for bail money.
I had a game warden coming to the house. My daughter calls me and says, "Daddy, there's a game warden outside." I said, "Okay, well, honey, don't answer the door." I don't know what he wants, but don't answer the door. So he came back.
He's just kidding. He's kidding. Game warden.
You Mr. Game warden. So I waited. I knew he'd be back. Whatever it was he wanted. Game wardens don't come to your door for no reason. So he got out of the car and he basically said, "You Rodney Roger?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, okay, you have the right to remain silent." Blah, blah, blah. So I was like, what in the world? And it was for not sending in my paperwork. They sent me several letters saying, "Hey, please send in your paperwork," and I didn't. And I ended up going to court, and it was a $500 fine.
You, my friend, are not a good example.
No. So sending in that paperwork, filling out the tags are very
Well, the good news is if
important.
you don't send it out, they'll come and get it from you.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of nice follow-up
you
from
get
them.
door-to-door service. Yes. Yeah.
And that's serious stuff.
It is serious stuff.
You had to kind of
I should have
talk yourself into being able to stay home, or talk them into letting you stay home that night.
And it what it did, the very next year, it took me out of the running. I was not allowed to get alligator tags for that reason. It was a misdemeanor wildlife crime is what it was called.
So they're serious about that. I mean, you get tags for a reason, so you can put that number on the piece of paperwork and say, this gator 123 was a male. It was this long, probably weighed this much money. I got this much meat from it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or we did not kill an alligator.
Or we did not kill.
Yeah. Period. One of the two. Yes or no. Make sure you do it, or they'll come knock on your door.
That's the end of that accounting story. And I think it is important to highlight the fact that that's part of the equation. Right. That's why we're doing this, or why they're, the procedures. I mean, it's part of the
procedures, deal. The whole, accountability, the conservation of it.
Exactly.
They need to know how many were killed.
Yep. And if you don't do your part, then they've got no reason to let you out there hunting them in the first place.
Exactly right. So we're the ambassadors.
Okay. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So here's my duct tape story. I'll squeeze that one.
Wait a minute. So I'm going to tie this into something. Here's how I think.
Got you.
Number one, I love your stories.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
You're one of the best storytellers, tailors that I know. But let's switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
I think what I should do is each week before you tell your story, I give you the music bed for your story.
And I pick the story.
No. You still have to tell that story. Okay. But you have to tell it in a way that complements the music. Right?
I get you.
So you have no idea what the music's going to be, but you know what the story is.
Right.
And we'll see if it fits.
So, in fact, we are storytellers.
We're tailoring the story to your tale.
To your music.
Okay?
I'm dying to hear what this is.
So tonight is fresh. Here we go. You ready, Rodney? You got your story ready?
I'm ready.
I got the music ready. Here we go.
Oh, I like it. The year 1985.
Very good.
The location was Haines City, Florida. This big alligator comes out of a pond. We're driving through we worked on a golf course. This big alligator.
Now you can't change the story now to fit the music.
Okay. So this alligator comes out of a pond. It's an 8-foot alligator. He's going from one pond to another on the golf course.
Yeah.
So I look at my cousin and I said, we got to get this thing. It's going to get a golfer. Or we're going to eat it. One of the two. We were hungry. Starving. So this alligator, we jump on the alligator. All we had with us is duct tape. So we tape his mouth up. We throw him in the truck. We take him back to the golf central location, our shop, right? So these golfers and then the local residents saw us taking him back. They wanted to see, it was a retirement community. They wanted to see this alligator, a wild alligator up close, and they wanted to get pictures with it. So me and this old man are standing there, and he says, hold this alligator up for me. So I grab the duct tape around his mouth, grab the mouth, and I'm holding this 200-pound, 8-foot alligator up above my head, barely. And the alligator slips out of my hands. And the duct tape's still in my hands. And he goes to snapping at everybody.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's trying to take our legs out. And I pushed the old man out of the way, and I'm doing the hopscotch jump around this alligator. He's swinging and biting and trying to pull his tail in, and I jump up on a table, got my feet up in the air. Now everybody's cleared out, and it's only me and the alligator. Now this alligator's on his guard. So I just wadded up the duct tape in a ball. I threw it at him, hit him right between the eyes. It did absolutely nothing. And I slid off the table very quietly. Jumped on him again. Taped his mouth shut with the electrical tape this time. And the rest is happily ever after.
So from then on, it's duct tape in everybody's pocket, or electrical tape in everybody's top pocket.
That's where I learned not to use duct tape.
Very nice, Rodney.
We had gator nuggets for months. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice.
That is an interesting.
You did good, but you can't change your story. Like, ooh, you know what sound good here is if I killed the gator.
No, we didn't do none of that fancy stuff.
You did good. That was nice. Great story, by the way.
Yeah, that was the early 80s.
You know, I know that anytime I can say, tell me a story, and you can pull a true story out of your pocket that I've never heard before. We've been friends
That's awesome.
For 10 years.
You know what? I started writing these down. My kids used to want me to tell them stories. And then I just started writing these stories down. So in my computer, that computer in there, somewhere I got all these stories. Just one after another. Okay, we're in the black.
We are in the black. Well,
so some things we have coming up. We're sorry about the video tonight.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We have RodneyRogersOutdoors.com, Rodney Rogers Facebook / Rodney Rogers Outdoors.
Yeah. But before we go, I got to say something. I got a confession to you on a personal note. I mean, we're over, whatever.
Whatever.
So you left your computer here last week.
Yes.
So basically, I could get your photos and your videos off there, stuff. So I'd have them as a resource for the website, and whatever videos we're working on. But I'm a snooper.
Snoop away.
You know, I used to say at Grandma's house, Grandma, can I snoop?
Right.
You know, and she's like, yeah, help yourself. So I snooped and I found some stuff you've been working on.
Okay.
And I thought it'd be great to share it before we went.
Uh-oh.
You know, because I know you've got so many irons in the fire.
I got so much stuff thrown on the wall, nothing sticking.
Yeah, but I couldn't help it when I saw this Word document that said Rodney Rogers camping tips. And I was like, oh, what the heck? He's holding out on me. So I'm reading this. I don't know if it's a book or a memoir or what you've been reading. But I thought these are actually pretty good.
Really?
And so I thought let's share them on the show tonight, before we go. I mean, we're out of town, but who cares? So tip number 1 from Rodney Rogers: you can make a fire by vigorously rubbing elk together.
Elk?
Yeah. So I'm not really sure what kind of frame of mind you're in when you're writing this stuff, but I thought, okay, that's it. We'll come back to this maybe later show. Also, beavers. You said rub those beavers. I know it's just weird. Let's see. If you encounter a black bear, attempt to cross the road or distract it with rap music. I don't know. It's good. It's good stuff. Let's see. If you encounter a grizzly bear, attempt to punch it in the eye. This will not scare off the bear, but you're dead anyways, and you don't want to go out like a wuss.
Right.
So I thought that was good.
That was a good one.
I mean, you are a man of wisdom here, Rodney Rogers. Just a few more, and then we'll let you talk about your mama. You can determine which direction is north by asking someone. That was brilliant.
Yeah,
actually.
That one takes all the guesswork out.
Failing that, float a stick on a still body of water, and north will be the direction that is opposite of south.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's
all logical. It makes sense.
And I thought this one was poignant to the point, and probably should leave it with this one. You said you can determine if a mushroom is safe. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
If you can determine if a mushroom is safe to eat by trying a bit, if your stomach feels like fire, and you start crapping yourself, don't eat anymore.
Right.
I mean, so I'm looking for. I don't know if you're going to publish this
These
or it's a
all
PDF available on the website or something, but these are brilliant. Going to help me work on my man card. I know that.
Every time.
So, anyways, Roger, it's been a great night.
It has.
I love talking Gator with you, man.
And as my mom said, and I've said a million times, you kids get outside and stay.